Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to F1 2020 My Team Principal, episode number 14. We have 8 days until we head to Monaco. We're third of the way into season number 3. Got a good opportunity to develop our teammate. Really hard to turn those opportunities down. Leaves us with 3 days for the last one. We have significant acclaim and resource points. At this point, money's flowing in, and 40,000 is actually really small. Funny you say that, but it's small potatoes. The resource points, those are helpful, and the team acclaim is more important than Juju Noda's. With the final few ultimate upgrades still locked, we have 2 miners left. That's it. In the powertrain, we have ERS and fuel, both pretty equally useful to us. We'll go ahead and take the ERS first. The battle at the bottom of the standings actually gets a little shakeup. Williams has moved up from last place after Pierre Gasly grabbed 15th. Vettel, meanwhile, kind of realistic. He finished 14th and started third. 2 McLarens miss out on the points. Ocon misses out on the points for Red Bull. And Calderon finally back into the points. Starts 6th. Car really strong. She's qualifying so well, but she's going backwards in the races. Has been pretty much ever since, but it's not as bad here today as it was on previous days. But look who has grabbed another victory. It's Juju Noda, claiming the fastest lap as well. 6 seconds clear of Bottas and Hamilton. Also, worthy of note, she started from 20th, not from 22nd, so she does gain a little bit of an advantage today in that regard. That there was a couple cars with enough penalties to push them back. Monaco's not the easiest place to pass, but the AI doesn't seem to have much of a problem with that with the quick sims. Standings, 33 points clear for Noda. And I'm starting to think, especially the way the car development is going, that Noda's got a real shot at the Drivers' Championship this year. I did not think so a few races back, but the way things are going right now, I am believing that it could be possible, especially when Bottas and Hamilton are taking points away from one another. Unlike real life where, Hamilton has a clear advantage over Bottas and Bottas rarely takes points off of Hamilton. Here, he's pretty consistently taking points away. Money coming in at a pretty good clip these days means it's not taking us very long to save up what we need for subsequent upgrades, especially expensive ones like this. 15 million, but it's going to push our resource point generation in the powertrain from 120 to 200. Also, it'll give us Spec 3, so those last few engine upgrades will become available. I've gained access to the first 2 of 4 Ultra upgrades in the chassis department, and I'm very tempted to go there, but they're going to take a while. We haven't done anything to speed those up yet in terms of departments. So for now, I'm going to stick to a couple minor upgrades, and then we'll get to those Ultras as we still have a little bit of easy to acquire progress to grab, I think, first. Car handles like a dream. We have a major aero advantage. This is the reason why Noda is winning races seemingly at will. 4 upgrades left in the department. 2 minors, 2 ultras. Let's go ahead and grab the first minor. Driver of the day is no doubt about it. No, it's not Noda. Yes, last place to first place, but we're starting to get used to seeing that. It's Tatiana Calderon. Calderon, first career podium, started on pole and hung on well enough to claim 3rd place in this race. Mercedes only in 6th and 7th after starting on the 2nd row. Verstappen start second, finish second. Great result for the Renault. The two Ferraris sandwiched the front runners with the Mercedes, but what a race. And Leclerc for Alfa Romeo all the way up in 8th place. Great result for that small team. He's doing what he did when he drove for them before taking the seat at Ferrari. And I think he is criminally underrated on this game. He's certainly, in my not so humble opinion, a significantly better driver than his current teammate, who, yes, I know, 4-time world champion, but it's 2020. And in 2020, Leclerc has been third, fourth, third multiple times this season. Meanwhile, somebody else can barely crack the top 10 and is spending most of his time outside of the top 10 this whole season thus far. Noda stretching that lead, now 51 points ahead, a 2-race cushion, or at least thereabouts, with the fastest lap points over Hamilton, who is 14 points ahead of Bottas. Calderon jumps to 7th place in the standings, finally starting to have an impact on what's looking like the big three teams. We seem to have replaced Red Bull in that standing. In the constructors, Noda might have a considerable lead in the drivers, but in the constructors, we're still behind Mercedes. But a race like that one drew us significantly closer and closed that lead down to something that is actually starting to become pretty manageable. Just 37 points behind Mercedes. Renault, somehow, still 5 points ahead of Ferrari. Verstappen is single-handedly pulling that team along, where the Ferrari is just not quite what it's used to being. Mercedes is the only car in the neighborhood. When it comes to that engine, we're going to take that other minor upgrade, that third. After 2 straight weekends where Friday and Saturday were dry but Sunday was wet, we finally come to Canada, where all 3 days remain dry. We're at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. And another typical result for the most part. Bottas, though, starts on pole, ends up dropping to 8th place in this one. Ocon gets 1 Red Bull just into the points. Kvyat scoring for AlphaTauri. Vettel, another ho-hum kind of performance, just 7th place for him. Calderon starting to assert herself a little bit better than before. And I think that's the car. We're starting to pull far enough away from a lot of the teams that she can't beat the 2 Mercedes drivers for 1 lap pace. But I think the car itself is pulling her up into that second row. And because she's starting higher up and the car's so strong, she's still not driving as well as she could, but she's only falling now to 6th place. 8 points is going to help us quite a bit. Hamilton, 2nd today. But Noda, another win. Is that 5 straight? Might be 9.5 seconds clear of Hamilton at the end of this one. That is a strong race result, and I do think that at this rate, Noda is going to comfortably claim the Drivers' Championship. She's not going to win them all. There's going to be, I think, a couple losses out there. The car is very dominant, and she's clearly, AI-wise, a good, strong driver. Much better rating than Calderon. Otherwise, she wouldn't be going from last to first in all these races. I still don't think it's a Hamilton thing. I think she's still going to be rated below Hamilton. I think it might be a 90 or something like that. Just a really, really good rating, capable of winning championships with the right car. She's got the right car and is pulling it off. Our previous secondary sponsor was about $500,000 a week for getting a top 12. We're getting well beyond that now. So after looking through, we found Xenon Dynamics giving us 836,000 by achieving a podium. And I think Noda is capable of doing that consistently. Maybe not every single race, but most races where that's going to pay out quite a bit more than what we had previously. And even if the rare non-podium by one of those two drivers, it's still a payout of 300,000 when we were getting 500,000 total with the bonus weekly. This will easily surpass that. Had to hit restart on the chassis upgrade as that one failed. We're going to get the last minor in the aero department. It's amazing how close we are from having this car maxed out within just 3 seasons, despite the fact that we've never done a race. The limited R&D that we've gotten has been easily recovered. Now, of course, durability still has quite a ways to go. There's a lot of points to invest there. Powertrain nearly upgraded, down to 3 ultras, just about. Aero down to 2 ultras, just about. And the chassis, still a little ways to go. 4 ultras, 3 minors, and then a whole bunch of durability upgrades. We're definitely not there yet, and we face the real possibility that we could be seeing some sort of rule change before the end of the season once again. We've had one every single season so far, but I would like to keep a bank of points just in case, because a rule change could be incredibly costly when we have this many upgrades to try to cover off. Both Red Bulls just missing out on points, both McLarens getting into the points, both Renaults in the points with Max Verstappen getting a podium after starting in 4th. Only one Ferrari in the points today, it's Vettel. Mercedes only 5th and 8th despite starting 1st and 3rd in this race. And it is Tatiana Calderon, not claiming the victory, mind you, but getting her 2nd podium. She started on the front row. She finishes 6 seconds behind Juju Noda, claims a victory. I think the car has reached that point where it's becoming much too much to handle. We're hitting, oh gosh, what year is that? 2016 Mercedes? Where nobody could touch them? I think the car's starting to hit that point. Calderon is not that strong of a driver. However, the car is just strong enough to get her up there. I think it's entirely possible that one of these days she is going to hang on and beat Noda and claim her first victory. I could see that coming. Calderon back up into 7th. Huge gap for Noda now, though. 75 points away ahead of Hamilton. I think she is cruising now to the Drivers' Championship. I mean, this is, I think, 6 races in a row that she has won. And with the onset of Calderon not just scoring points, not just scoring decent points, but now scoring podiums, we have caught up and passed Mercedes. We are 5 points ahead in the constructors, because it's not just that we're beating Mercedes. Mercedes is not finishing 3rd and 4th or 2nd and 3rd, other than occasionally. They're finishing today 5th and 7th, and similar in other races recently. It's Verstappen that's been grabbing the other podiums for the most part. The engine's already the most developed on the grid. Mercedes, the only one even in the same ballpark as what we have under our hood. Of course, it is a Mercedes engine that we have under our hood, but we've developed it beyond what they've been able to do. And here we are, set to make an ultra exhaust upgrade. That's going to push us that much further beyond everyone else. 3 race weekends are going to go by, though, before it's ready. As promised, the other minor upgrade in the chassis department is coming, and with the previous minor upgrade that just finished, we've actually finally pushed our chassis to the top of the order, making every single department outside of, yes, durability, where we are still dead last. The three that count. We now have the best on the grid out of every single department. We see a little something different in this race, but also something becoming familiar. First off, Russell outside of the points from 16th all the way up into 8th. Good result there. Leclerc started 3rd in the Alfa Romeo, finished 9th though. The two Ferraris starting on the first 2 rows, only finishing 6th and 7th. Hamilton from 7th up a couple spots. Verstappen, another strong performance. Bottas starts front row, finishes 2nd, but Calderon, this is the new thing that we haven't seen. It wasn't about the qualifying. This time it was the car in the race. This was Austria, of course, where the 2020 World Championship actually started after the long break. Calderon went from 6th on the grid to finishing on the podium. That we have not seen her go up positions. So that is excellent for her. And Noda, another win, and continues the streak. So as we hit the halfway point of the season, Noda has a 91-point lead. Calderon comfortably into 7th and making up ground on the 2 Ferraris. There's a good chance that she could move up to 5th at some point. But she's scoring points just enough, and Mercedes has struggled just enough that now, not only do we have the lead, but we're starting to pull away just a little bit from Mercedes here at the halfway point. 340 to 322. Renault still ahead of the Ferrari, and then McLaren, AlphaTauri, and Red Bull all struggling to score points consistently. Charles Leclerc single-handedly keeping Alfa Romeo in with a shot amongst the midfielders. Racing Point just 1 championship point this season, and Williams just 1 result that was still not even near scoring points, and Haas has done nothing. That does it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.